We have the 2023 IBEX Innovation Award winners WIF-Pro with us today, and we're going to be showing exactly what their product does and how it works. Then we'll show you each and every component you'll need for an install on your boat, and lastly, we'll show you how we do a simple DIY install that you can do as well at home. Did you know that one of the top 5 reasons boaters call sea tow is fuel-related issues, specifically water and fuel? Check out this sea tow article. And did you know that your Outboard's warranty is not covered by fuel contamination? The product we're about to show you detects and alerts you to the presence of water in your fuel, preventing potential engine damage and performance issues. You won't want to miss this important video.
Guys, we've got a really special video here for you today. We've got the team from WIF-Pro installing a really cool thing on our boat today. So I'll have them tell you guys more about what we're doing. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we're going to be installing on their Grady White here a single engine water and fuel protection system, and we'll go through it step by step. Hopefully you'll do most of the work and I'll assist you with that, get it in there, and excited to do it. See how it looks and turns out. We think it will be a good bonus for the boat.
All right, well, I'm David and this is Brian from WIF-Pro, and yeah, we're here happy to be with you guys and then get this installed on your boat and see how we do.
So we've got a nice little setup here so that we can kind of get an idea of what exactly this product does and what we're going to be installing today. So
Great.
Tell us.
So this is our interactive display. We use this to show people how the system works. We're going to be installing, we'll start with the control panel here. It's going to be a single motor for this boat application. We'll start by cutting out a spot in the console to get that mounted. The control panel connects via cable, which we'll be pulling in the boat from back to front. From the filter compartment forward, we'll be pulling this cable to connect the sensor ring. The sensor ring snaps onto the outside of the Parker Raycor filter, and it interacts with the filter parts to give you an alarm at the control panel to let you know water's in your fuel that has infiltrated. Also have this nice little UV cover. We'll show you that a little bit later when we get the install done, but it's basically 4 main parts: the control panel, the sensor ring, the filter parts, and the nifty drain bottle. This mounts somewhere near the filter in the back. Once you do have water, it will go onto the bottom of the filter, allow you to open it, empty the water out of the filter, and reset it. A quick demo how the system works. Let me turn the sensor ring a little bit for you. It's a little foggy in there, but you can see the green float. We're going to simulate water coming into that filter, and you'll notice as the water infiltrates, it will reveal a orange indicator. That's giving you warning that you have a water problem starting. Once the filter has 4 to 5 ounces, it will notify you on the control panel that your starboard motor has water in the fuel. When you go back to look at your filters, you'll see the orange indicator confirming that. You'll grab your drain bottle, put it on the bottom of the filter. You'll drain the water from the filter. It resets the float and also resets your control panel.
We know that the sensor is what lets us know that there's water in the fuel, right? What happens if this bowl is dirty? You know how they get discolored and stuff like that. So what happens when that's really dirty? Will the sensor penetrate and actually tell you that there's water in there?
Absolutely. These are modulated IR light sensors, and they have very deep penetration going through items that are opaque. In other words, you can't see through them. We've tested these on Raycor bowls that are so discolored, there's no way you could see through them.
Right.
I'll give you a little test here, indication of how they work. If I take this and I put one finger on top of the sensor, it's shooting through my finger. If I put 2, it will break it. But if I do 1, it will actually shoot straight through your finger. So it has deep penetration as far as seeing through the filter bowl.
Awesome.
Right, so I mean, this seems like an awesome product. Who do you feel would benefit most from a product like this? Is this for everyone, or tell us more about that?
This particular system here is designed for outboard boats strictly that run gasoline applications. We are in the process right now of working on the diesel applications, and they'll come out in the next 3 to 6 months. But for right now, this is gasoline outboard application. Pretty much for any outboard boat. Water and fuel has been an age-old problem. There's an old saying that says if you boat long enough, you'll have the problem and have to deal with it. If you're running offshore, it can be a big issue, obviously, for obvious reasons, safety issues, things like that. Filling up in the Bahamas is a big issue. That's a common, complaint we hear about guys boating. But a bad fill is only one of the ways you get water in your fuel that can cause this problem. There's a lot of other things that can cause it. Condensation from storing the boat. If you run ethanol fuel by chance, you can get phase separation. This will also let you know if those sort of things happen in your fuel tank.
All right, great. So let's get started with the installation.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, so we're gonna, as you guys know, we've done everything on this boat ourselves, DIY for the most part. And what's great about this kit that we're gonna show you guys now is that this kit is also a DIY kit. We're gonna be installing this kit with these gentlemen today, but we're gonna show you step by step how to do it. Now we're gonna reveal the box. So let's go step by step,
Sure.
with what the box entails. What do we have here? So
Sure. So we'll start out with, let me go in here. You'll have first and foremost your sensor ring and sensor cable. So remember this sensor cable gets pulled from the back of the boat to the front of the boat.
Got it.
To your control panel.
Got it.
You'll have these neatly wrapped. Your filter parts that drop into the filter will come with the sensor ring. They're all color coded. In this case, we have a single motor, so they're white. On a port starboard situation, they'll be green and red. Correct. So everything's color coded. We also include some nice accessories. This is a pulling harness we built. So we put it on the end of the cable, so it connects. So when you pull the cable, you can't damage the end of the cable.
Awesome.
Once you're pulled, you'll take the extra cap that's on the other end and put it, the waterproof cap, and put it on the end that we've pulled.
You guys have thought of everything.
So that's the sensor ring and cable. These are some accessories, and we'll get into these as we install, but this is a, you probably won't need this in your application, but we include things like pulling line, which we'll use in your boat, and some centering drill bits. I'll show you how those work when we install. That's an accessories box. Then you'll have your main control panel, which we've looked at already. This one may be wrapped up. No, it's not. It's open. You'll have the power cable in there. With the power cable comes all of your different heat shrink connectors that you might possibly use, piggybacks and so on. Has a spare fuse here, and this just goes to power and ground. That's all we need today is power and ground.
Because you said this is self-fused, right?
Absolutely. You have a fuse. You'll see the fuse right in the back. It's
Awesome.
self-fused. We still recommend if you can run it through a 1 amp or 2 amp fuse, that's fine to be double fused, but it's already fused for any power surges.
Now, you had mentioned earlier that this control box is for a console mount, but you said that you guys have also a sub mount, right? Which is this one over here.
Yes.
And this one you can hide underneath your okay.
So we'll
tell us a
have-
little bit about that.
This one mounts at the helm, as we saw on the console over there, and has the same controls, but this will be what we call our NMEA box. So this also has a connector on the back for the NMEA network. So you can sub-mount this box. It's still fully functional control panel, but you'll have an NMEA drop cable here, and everything on the alarm side will show up on your chart plotter at the helm.
So you don't even have to see this thing. You could just
Correct.
look at your chart plotter.
If you have a full NMEA network and you want, you'll have this. These will be available. This is naturally a prototype. They'll be available most likely end of March.
Sweet. Okay.
Yep.
So what's next? What else we got?
The last box is really just the drain bottle. So we'll have the drain bottle with the cap, and we'll have the mounting bracket, and we'll show how that goes in the boat in a few minutes.
Awesome. Now I'm gonna need what type of filter do I need to have for this to work? Because I can't just put it with any type of filter, right? It has to be a Raycor filter.
This system is designed to snap onto the Raycor spin-on series filters. So you typically have 2 different types of filters there. They're all 60 gallon per hour, or most of them are. And it's typically the 3227 filter or the 3213. And it has the Raycor clear bowl. This system is designed for Raycor filtration.
Got it. Now another question. So I know that this is made for outboards and gasoline engines. You guys have a diesel option coming out soon, is that right?
We do. But yeah, we're in the middle of prototyping now. We'll probably within the next 3 to 6 months be offering coverage on the Parker Raycor turbine series diesel filters, the 500 and the 900 and 1000, all the way up to 1000, which covers almost 200 gallons per hour in flow.
Wow.
Large motors.
And now if I wanted to install this and I had 2 motors or 3 motors or 4 motors, how would that work? You would need 4 different units, 3 different units?
You'll have one control panel.
Okay.
And you'll just have multiple of the sensor rings and the sensor cables. Everything will go into the control panel.
Got it. Perfect.
So you'll just have multiple of these boxes here.
Awesome. So one thing that I noticed about this kit, number one, it's made in the USA. So that's like one of our favorite things, right? So it's made in the USA, so you know you're getting a quality product. But check this out. Look how much thought these guys have put into these products. So when you get this, instead of being a bag full of like screws and all types of stuff, they're already ready to go. They just have these little fasteners on there. You take them off and they're ready. Every little part. See that? So you're not searching for screws and trying to figure out what screws go to where. Everything's laid out for you, ready to go. This should be a super easy install. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install the control panel. So we've been looking at a space to do it. We were thinking about putting up here on the console, but we decided to go underneath here where we can still see it and we can still hear it. So tell us exactly where you think we should place the control panel.
I don't mind either location actually from a recommendation, but I do like the sub-mount option. As long as you can see it, it's a 100 decibel alarm. You're not going to not hear it when it alarms, and all you need to do is reference it. So I have no problem with the sub-mount. It's going to be nice, clean out of the way, not take up any more dash space in your boat, and I've got no issues with it. I think it'll work well.
Awesome, and I see that it comes with a template. You have a template here, so look, You don't even have to think. You just put this up there and you put the holes, and you're ready to go. So this already has a template built in. That's awesome.
Cut out templates so you can get it nice and square and get the right size hole
Awesome.
for your panel.
Let's do it.
Right.
Boom.
Turn it on. Rear side, it's removed, right?
Yeah.
The line?
Yeah.
Oh, on the front side.
Yeah.
It's
That's the centering bit, right?
Yep, this is a centering drill bit.
Okay.
So what happens when you put it in the quarter panel, it will drill a perfect pilot hole. You just make sure it's in the center of the hole and just drive it till it stops. And we'll do all 4 holes like that. That will make the screws go in just perfect. So So guys, we're getting ready to pull the sensor cable from front to back. The pulling harness is ready to go. We're going to lubricate that up a little bit with some pulling lubricant. We also attached an extra pulling wire for him. So once we pull this through, we'll leave that pulling wire in the tube so that he has an extra pulling cable in case he has to pull anything through that pulling or rigging tube later on. All right, so we're ready to pull front to back. It's a come. So we're going to pull it all out, Todd. We're going to leave just enough up here to get to the control panel comfortably.
Now, how many feet do you have? Like, what's
lot.
the biggest boat that you can?
A lot.
Yeah.
That cable is 43 feet
Oh,
long.
perfect. So any center console.
You're going to have
Any boat.
Oh yeah. You're going to have on this boat. You're going to have 15 feet extra cable roughly.
Nice.
And then I took off the spare waterproof cap. So now that we've pulled it, this will go back on the pulling end of the cable.
Got it.
So we'll put that on the other end.
Has this little cap.
Yep. Yes, you can.
Perfect. And it's got a little notch, so you can't mess it up.
Yeah, it should be directional.
Perfect.
We can kind of do that.
Perfect. And we'll zip tie that after. And now we got to connect power. We got to connect our positive and our ground to the fuse block. All right, so this is the power cord, right? All right, so we have the power cord, and we've connected it with heat shrink connectors here to ground and to power. And we said that we were going to put a 1 amp fuse, so there's a 1 amp fuse in there. Now we're going to connect this part. Just pop this thing off. Perfect.
And it's kind of a snap lock. You kind of find the direction and push it in, and it snaps.
Got it.
Did it click in?
Yep.
Yep.
So now all this extra, we're going to tie it all down here. And maybe zip tie that. And we'll figure that. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we tied this up. Nice, and everything's nice and neat. This thing's ready to go. Now we're gonna go to the back and show you how we connect to the sensor.
So you basically have 2 different filters. This is a 3213. It has the small center hole.
Got it.
And the small O-ring. On the 3227, which we don't have an example of, the O-ring is on the outside and the hole is much bigger. Yeah, effectively, those are the 2 main filters. There is a third that's less common.
Okay.
I think Sierra makes it, filtration, but those are your 2 basic filters.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, so here we got the Parker Raycor S3213, which is going for your Suzuki 250. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add the filter parts to the clear bowl with, if I'm not mistaken, it's the RK30475 from Parker Raycor. So we're going to add the orange indicator, just drop it in there.
Okay.
Now the green float ring, drop it in there.
Nice.
And now we're going to put the stopper, and it just goes there. And then you just want to make sure it just goes right to the top and it's level. And
Level
then
with the bowl, so
level with the top of this to the tube.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, you'll see right there. So now you just screw this onto the bottom of the filter, and now we would install it on the filter base.
Got it.
Now, one thing I want to show you is that you can test is that you got your system's pretty much operational. You already got power to it.
Right.
And now what we're going to do is we're going to connect this to the cable that comes from the control panel.
Got it.
And then we're going to test this real quick by just
Turning it upside
simulating.
down. Simulating, yeah, that it floats up.
So I'm going to grab the cables right here. Power cable is right here. I'm going to take off the
Yeah,
protective
we have extra
caps.
line, so we have a whole bunch of this extra line that I'm going to tuck away back in here, for just in case.
Okay, so here we're connecting this.
And this is great because it's all plug and play.
Yeah, it's
You
all
don't
plug
gotta-
and play.
you
It's
don't
all
gotta worry
color
about it.
coded. You know, this
Yeah.
is a single engine, so it's white on white. But if it was the multi-engine, port and starboard.
You would have it colored
color coded.
red and green, right?
So now this is live. Now I didn't show you, but before it was a blinking red, showing you that it was faulting because it wasn't connected. Now it's back to green. Now the sensor is live and working. If I put here, you hear beeping. So now what we're gonna do, can you pass that to me real quick? We're gonna add the sensor ring to it as if it was already installed. So this is going to be mounted already on your boat.
Right.
And we're just going to simulate that water's going in there and then the green float ring's going up. And what you'll see, it breaks the beam and it sends the alarm to the control panel and it's working. And then you would drain it, it would get the water out, and you'd be back to normal. So that's basically how it works.
Perfect. So if I'm on the boat and the alarm goes off, right? Turn off my motor, stop. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check if this filter.
Right, so if it's beeping over there,
right.
What you're gonna do is come back and I'll simulate that it's up beeping. And what you do get is a visual confirmation. The orange indicator is exposed and the green float ring is up. So you know that there's water in there.
Got it.
And then what you do at that time is you just drain it and that'll come back down.
Come back down?
The water leaves and it's back to fuel and you're back to normal.
And it resets itself?
It resets itself, and it's self-testing every 10 seconds. So as long as that button's green, you know that the system's working.
Got it.
So anytime it does beep, you get a true positive that it is water in there. So
got it.
That's basically how it works.
We just mounted the spacer here.
Yep.
Where the base was already mounted.
Okay.
There's a self-tapping screw that comes with it. Self-tap this base, the spacer down, and then you can just put your base right back through it. We just added a little sealant on here. I'm gonna add a little more because pushing it through there came off. Yep. Just holds the spacer in place. The self-tapping screw so that it's held there. Anytime you have to do any filter maintenance, it goes on and off real easy.
Yeah, that spacer makes it a lot easier to get under the bowl and taking it
Makes
on
it a
off.
lot easier when doing maintenance and things like that.
Right. There you go.
Sweet.
That looks great. Actually, it looks beautiful.
Clear bowl parts are already inside. Made sure our O-ring seal was in there.
How tight do we want that? Hand tight?
Yeah.
Hand tight.
If you do it too tight, the next time you go to take it off, you're gonna kill it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to use a pipe wrench or something, and it's never gonna come off. So we're gonna.
Yeah, you guys have a smaller.
Correct.
This is called the
drain
drain
bottle.
bottle. So you guys have a smaller drain bottle. So like for our boat, this won't reach because we don't have the clearance. But they have a smaller drain bottle for situations like this. So that's what we're gonna have, and we can mount it right next to it.
And then with this mounting plate, we're going to put it right next to it. And then we're also working on getting a bottle or having one made that's holds the same amount as this. It's just shorter and fatter.
Got it.
So
That's
for
perfect.
situations like yours.
Yeah. That way you lose it. It'll be right next to where you need it.
We really did try to think of everything.
Won't be going anywhere. Right where I need it. You don't have to look for it.
For the sensor ring, what we recommend, just slips up, it mounts like that, snaps there. This is just a little hanging bracket, so if you're doing service or anything, it doesn't disappear on you. And we recommend the height for this to be basically right even with the top of your filter base here.
Got it.
So we got a self-tapping screw in here.
Sweet.
All right, so that's good there. So now when you pop your sensor ring off, it'll kind of hang here for you. Another thing, there's an indicator light here that you might want to install this at an angle where you can take a peek down here and see that indicator light.
Got it.
If you're ever having any issues, you need to check and see if the sensors are working. You'll be able to tell by that light.
So if the indicator light is on, that means there's water in there. That's how I would see. Or
no, that
or is
means that means there's power.
There's power. Okay, so the indicator light on means there's power in there.
Correct. So if you
Got it.
didn't have a light on here, you would know that there was not power getting back to this sensor
Got it.
ring.
Okay, perfect.
So basically, we ended up with an extra cable, so we're just we rolled it up.
So we ran the cable from the control box back to here where our sensor ring's mounted to our filter. Up at the control box right now, it's flashing red. And once we connect this, I can see from here we just went green up at the control box. You are now green. Green means you're operational.
Connect the caps so they don't.
Yep. And we'll find a place to kind of tie this up and we'll be in good shape.
Sweet.
Okay, so now that we got everything installed and hooked up, we're just gonna do a quick self-test. First thing you look is the system's on. You have the green light, so it shows that everything's active. And if you just want to self-test, you just hold it down for a few seconds, and it's beeping. Just confirms that everything's active. And then, so right now it's a bright green, and to dim it, you do it 3 times, and it dimmed that, so at night it's not, you know, so it's 3 times. And here it's got instructions of, you know, what the buttons do, you know, hold it down for self-test, 3 times for dimming it. That's basically it. So your system's ready to go.
Awesome.
WIF-Pro's set up and live.
All right, guys, so the install is complete. Big shout out to the guys over at WIF-Pro. If you want to check them out, check out their website,
WIF-Pro.com.
WIF-Pro.com. You can also see them at the Palm Beach Boat Show coming up. When's the Palm Beach Boat Show?
I believe it's the 21st of March.
21st of March, you guys got it. If you guys have any questions, hit them up, email them. What's your phone number?
888-ONO-H2O, which is 646-6426.
Awesome. And I'll put the link in the description below. We'll see you on the next one.